Have you ever noticed how your emotions can feel so overwhelming? Like a storm that takes complete control of you? One minute you're calm, and the next you're angry, anxious, or deeply sad? But here's the fascinating truth. Science shows that no single emotion can last longer than 90 seconds unless you keep feeding it. Surprising, right? When an emotion is triggered, your body releases chemicals that flood your system. Those chemicals are naturally flushed out in about a minute and a half. What keeps the feeling alive is the constant storytelling in your head, the thoughts you attach to that emotion. This isn't about pretending to be positive all the time. It's pure neuroscience, a discovery made through research by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor at Harvard. So the next time you feel anger bubbling up, instead of reacting instantly, just notice what's happening in your body. Maybe it's a tight chest, heat rising in your face, or shaky hands. Then take a breath and count slowly to 90. Don't fight the feeling, just observe it as it passes through you like a wave. You'll notice the intensity fading because the chemicals are leaving your system. Suddenly, you realize you're not completely at the mercy of your emotions. You have more control than you thought. Think of emotions like passing weather. They can be heavy storms, but they always move on if you let them. Many of us have snapped at someone in anger, only to regret it seconds later. That's the 90-second rule in action. The emotion had already started to fade by the time you reacted. We often say, "Sorry, I yelled. I was just angry." But the truth is, emotions don't make our decisions. They just sell us on them, like convincing salespeople. The final choice is still ours. 1. Cognitive reframing. Disappointment doesn't come from events themselves. It comes from the gap between expectations and reality. The good news? You can close that gap by reframing the situation. Our brains constantly predict outcomes. When those expectations are missed, frustration sets in. Reframing doesn't mean pretending things are fine. It means adjusting your lens. Instead of "I failed," you shift to "This is a setback, but I can learn and try again." The event hasn't changed, but your outlook has. Think of times when something felt devastating, only for you to later realize it was a blessing in disguise. Reframing lets you reach that perspective in the moment. Without it, your mind acts like an overdramatic director, turning one bit of criticism into a career-ending tragedy, while everyone else has already moved on. 2. The emotional first aid kit. We all keep first aid kits for cuts and scrapes, but what about wounds you can't see, the emotional ones? What if you had a personal kit prepared for moments of anxiety, sadness, or overwhelm? That's the idea behind an emotional first aid kit, a set of personalized strategies you prepare in advance to calm yourself during tough times. The trick is to build it when you're feeling okay, not during a breakdown. Think of it as a toolbox filled with multi-sensory interventions, something for your body, something for your mind, and something for your spirit. Start by identifying your most common emotional challenges. Maybe it's anxiety, self-doubt, or loneliness. For each, choose 4 tools. A physical action, like doing 10 jumping jacks or stretching. A sensory element, a calming scent, a soothing playlist, or a grounding object you can hold. A cognitive tool, maybe a mantra, a reminder question, or a short journal prompt. A social lifeline, a supportive friend you can text or call. Save these in your phone or write them on cards. You can even include reminders of past challenges you overcame, because in moments of distress, it's easy to forget your own strength. Picture your brain in crisis as a toddler who just found a candy stash overstimulated and chaotic. Your emotional first aid kit acts like the responsible adult who calmly says, "Okay, that's enough sugar for today." It interrupts spirals and brings you back to balance. 3. Breaking rumination cycles. Have you ever tried to stop thinking about something, only to find yourself stuck in the same thought loop even more? That's called rumination, the mental quicksand, where you replay negative events without finding solutions. Unlike problem solving, rumination goes in circles, and here's the catch. Trying to force yourself not to think about it makes it worse. Like saying, "Don't picture a pink elephant," and suddenly that's all you see. So instead of fighting the thoughts, you change your relationship with them. One simple method is the 5-3-1 technique. First, name 5 things you can see right now. That engages your visual brain. Then, physically move locations, even just to another corner of the room. Next, spend 3 minutes on an absorbing task, something that demands focus, like counting backwards by sevens. Finally, take one productive action, either related to your problem or something entirely different. By redirecting your brain, you stop fueling the cycle. Your mind is like water, it has to flow somewhere. Give it a constructive path instead of letting it stagnate. Think of those nights when you can't sleep because your brain suddenly wants to analyze that embarrassing thing you said years ago. That's rumination. We all do it. Your brain at 3 a.m. goes, "Hey, remember in 2012 when you called your teacher mom? Let's revisit that memory in painful detail for the next 2 hours. Thanks, brain. Very helpful." 4. The spotlight effect. Here's another trick of the mind that causes unnecessary suffering. The spotlight effect. It's the belief that everyone notices your mistakes or flaws far more than they actually do. Psychologists proved this with an experiment where students wore embarrassing t-shirts to class. The wearers thought everyone was staring at them, but in reality, only a few people even noticed. Why? Because just like you're the center of your own world, everyone else is the center of theirs. Most people are far too busy worrying about themselves to focus on you. Remember that time you stumbled during a presentation and it felt like the end of the world? You probably still cringe about it, but can you recall the small mistakes other presenters made? Likely not, you were too caught up in your own performance. That's the spotlight effect. Understanding this is incredibly freeing. You realize the judgment you fear is mostly imagined. The truth is, people aren't replaying your awkward moments, they're replaying their own. Your brain might whisper, "Everyone at this party noticed you used the wrong fork." Reality? They're all wondering if they used the right fork. We're all caught in our own little spotlights. 5. Third-person self-talk. A small shift in language can change everything. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," try using your own name or the word you. For example, "Ali can handle this," or "You've done this before, you'll do it again." This simple change creates distance between you and your emotions. It makes you see the situation more like an advisor than a victim. Studies show this activates the rational part of your brain, the same one you use when guiding a friend. Think about it, you'd never scold a friend for forgetting their keys. You'd say, "Relax, it happens." But with yourself, the voice is harsher. "How could you mess up again?" Third-person self-talk softens that inner critic. 6. Mental contrasting. Positive thinking feels good, but it can trick your brain into believing you've already succeeded. That's why psychologists recommend mental contrasting, balancing optimism with obstacles. Say you want to exercise more. First, picture the benefits: better health, more energy. Then, imagine the hurdles: exhaustion after work or distractions. Finally, create if-then plans. If I'm too tired, then I'll just do 10 minutes. If I want to skip, then I'll remind myself how much better I feel after. This method prepares you for reality. It's like planning a trip. You don't just look at destination photos, you check the route and plan for traffic. Hope plus preparation beats blind positivity every time. 7. Building anti-fragility. Resilience is good, but anti-fragility is even better. Instead of just surviving stress, you actually grow stronger because of it. Muscles build through strain. The immune system toughens through exposure. Your mind can do the same. Introduce small challenges